Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Have you ever needed to check the distance in the point list and remove the closest point which is not satisfied by the minimum distance? I will show you in this video how to do it. If you want to follow me, you need to create a console app and install Tekla NuGet package. Depending on the version you are using. For example, I'm using 2021. So let's suppose we have a point list, dummy point. So we need to create a method to get the points. We don't have that method. We need to create the method, right? So let's delete this. So let's define first the empty list. Since this is a dummy list, so we need to create a for loop, for example, for 10 times. I don't know what. So let's see, if I say enumerable dot range from 1 to 12, let's create one variable offset, so that will push the point to next to the previous. So let's start from 6000 of x-axis. So then simply we need to do point.add new point. So offset, and simply say offset concatenate by 100 and return the points. So we have now dummy points. Right? In order to print that in the model, what I can do, I have in my library already method to use. So what I can do, points.element to control point. It's nothing fancy, it's just a control point. It's adding the control point to the point position. So it's nothing fancy, you can create your own. It just helped me to insert the quickly control point to the point position. What I need to do here, commit the changes to see the points in the model. If I run this, I should be able to see these points here, right? Let me delete it again and run back. So you can see we have these points, and these all points are offsetted to each other is 100. Right, we need to suppose that we have a point list which is point to close to each other. So what we need to do is we need to create if I is equal 3 or I is equal 7, then what we need to do is, if I copy this line, paste over here and say offset -99, it will add the point is just 1 millimeter away from the previous point. If I clean this, delete these points from the model and run right? So you can see the one point is just 1 millimeter away from the other, and one we have here. For example, if we have this scenario and we want to remove one of these points, this point we need to remove, and we need to remove this point. For that, we need to create another method. So let's create a method. Come on. So let's call it get sorted points. So it will take 3 arguments, enumerable points, double minimum distance check, and the third one is a boolean should add last point in the list. Okay, so first of all we need to check if the point list have at least the point to check, so that should be minimum 2 point to check. So let's create if statement. If points that count is less than 3, less than 2, return empty enumerable list. If that's not the case, what we need to do, we need to stack the point. So we need to create a variable stack points equal new stack of points, and we also push the first point on the point list. So stack point dot push points dot element at 0. Then we need to create an empty list sorted points. So that will be our return list. When the point pass the check, we will add in this one. At the end we will return this. So we need to create a for loop, points not count, we iterate through the list to find the next point. So in each iteration we check whether the given point in the list is next graded point to the top of the stack. So what we need to do is we need to create another variable called next, and points element at I. Then we need to check if stack point dot count is greater than 0. If that's the case, what we need to do is we need to pop to point equals stock.popped, and we need to create a variable of distance to check the minimum distance. So point to point, popped point, to the next point. Then we need to say while, distance is greater than or equal to minimum distance, we need to say sorted point dot add popped point. Let's change that to point, not points. So popped point, and then say if stock points dot count equal 0, then break. If not the case, then we simply say popped point stock.pop. Okay, so if stock point does not have a point, we just simply need to stock point dot push the next point, right? And at the end of this for loop, we need to check if should add point in the list. Then we simply need to say sorted point dot add point dot last, and at the end return sorted point. Right, let's check this method. So what we need to do here, we need to say variable sorted points equal get sorted point. So points and minimum distance is 10. We know we have a point which has distance from one to another is 1 millimeter, so 10 is okay. True. And in order to test that, what we can do, sorted point dot count, right? Create a for loop, variable current point. So this is the current point, sorted list element I, variable temporary variable p, let's call it p, equal new ts3d dot point. So we're just pushing our y-axis just to see on top of other point what's the difference is. So what we can do is dot x y plus 100 and dot z p dot to control point. So we don't have any points in our model, so let's run this application. So you can see we have 2 here, we have only 1, and same here, we have only 1. So let's see which one is removed. If I create a line, copy same line to this position. So we can see the first one has been removed. First one has been removed, right? If we want to remove another side, which one is this side, what we need to do is depending on the order of the list, so we can simply say dot reverse. If I run again my application, so you can see now this time this side, right side has been removed. So this is how you can remove the points in the point list which is close to the minimum distance. Minimum distance can be any distance you passed. In real world example where you can use, I faced this problem where I'm inserting the stud in the wall panel, and we have a rule to minimum distance of each stud. So when user pass the distance list, they can write 100 and 200 and whatever is. So to prevent that, I have to write this method. So this is how I can sort it. And also this method you can use and Tekla drawing side. So when you have a drawing, if you create a dimension on, let's say you have a beam, and beam has a bunch of holes, and those holes are close to each other, where is less than 1 millimeter, for example. So you want to remove one point, so you can use same approach to sort the list. Same approach can be used in any CAD operating system, for example CAD, AutoCAD, or Advanced Steel, or any other BIM software. Thank you very much for watching this video. Have a nice day.